If you're a beginner with data analysis, one of the best tools you can use to analyze your data is a good old-fashioned pivot table. So let me show you how to use a pivot table to quickly explore and analyze your data. So I have here a table of sales data, and it's really hard to recognize any patterns or get any insights from raw data like this. So I want to summarize it and see if that makes it easier to analyze. I could do some Excel calculations over here to the side, but since I'm just exploring my data, I want a method that lets me quickly do lots of different calculations. So a pivot table is a great choice here. To create a pivot table, all you need to do is highlight the data you want to summarize, click on Insert, and Pivot Table. I like to put my pivot tables in a new worksheet. So I have my raw data in one sheet and my pivot table report in its own sheet. It looks much cleaner that way. Okay, so here's my pivot table, and now we need to add the data we want to see. I'm just going to start by looking at the average quantity, unit price, and revenue. I want to see those values. So I'm going to drag each of these fields into the values area. Now, Excel automatically summarized these fields by calculating the sum. So to get the average instead, just click the drop down next to each field, click on Value Field Settings, and then where it says Summarize Value Field By, change it from sum to average and click OK. Now I'll just do the same thing for my other two fields, and there we go. There are my average values. Now, the real value of a pivot table comes when you want to segment your data. So if I wanted to see the average of all of these fields by sales rep, all I need to do is drag the sales rep field down into the rows area. Now I can see the average quantity, unit price, and revenue for each sales rep. Now, I can already tell that this is leading me to some really interesting insights. When I change the aggregations back to sum, I can see that David sold the most units by far, but he's only selling low ticket items, so he's actually bringing in the least revenue. Michael is bringing in the most revenue, even though he's selling fewer units by far. So if I were a business owner, I'd want to try and bring in more reps to sell these higher ticket items, since that's what's driving revenue. I hope this helped, and make sure to follow for more.